to the class, children. I am your science teacher. My name is Mrs. Jyoti. So we are in lesson number 5, that is food and digestion. So about different types of food we have learned. Now today we will learn about digestion. So keep your notebook ready, pencil ready. Take out page number 295. So we have learned about different types of nutrients. Now what happens to the food after we eat? That is called as digestion. So about that digestion we are going to learn today. So here on the board you have a diagram. So this complete system is called as the digestive system. It's called as digestive system. Okay. Now in this digestive system we have different organs. Organs are nothing but the parts. So here you have mouth, here you have liver, this is the stomach. Okay. Now here you have pancreas, then this is the large intestine, this is the small intestine, and this is the anus. So all these organs together they form the digestive system. All these organs together they form the digestive system. Now what happens to the food after it enters into the body? Let us see. Now with the help of mouth we are going to eat the food. With the help of mouth we are going to eat the food, and whatever undigested food is there, it comes out of the body through the anus. Okay. So mouth and anus. From here we are eating, and from here we are sending out the waste material. So this is the starting point. This is the starting point of the digestive system, and this is the ending point of the digestive system. So here for digestive system we have the starting point and ending point. So once you eat the food, once we put the food in our mouth, we are going to chew it with our teeth. With the help of the teeth which are present here on upper jaw and lower jaw, we are going to chew it into tiny pieces. Now here you have the blue colored part here, and those are the saliva glands, salivary glands. So this salivary glands are going to produce saliva. That is the watery substance in your mouth. Okay, 1 minute if you are still like that, some water is formed in your mouth, and that is called as saliva. So with the help of saliva we can chew the food properly and make it into a soft ball. Then after chewing it properly you are going to swallow the food. So what happens to the food which you swallowed? So from here the food enters like this into the food pipe. So this long tube like structure is called as the food pipe. It is called as the food pipe. So this is the food which you are swallowing now. Okay, this is the food. Then later it enters into the stomach. It enters into the stomach. So this bean shape, okay, like a coffee bean or a soya bean, it is like a bean shaped one which is called as stomach. Okay. Now in this we have some liquid like substance present here. Okay. So those are called as digestive enzymes. Once the food enters here, it's going to get digested. That is, it's going to break into bits. It's going to break into again tiny bits by using the digestive enzymes. Then whatever food is there, after 1 hour the food is going to enter into the small intestine. From here it enters into the small intestine. The small intestine here, in this middle part, it is about 16 meters in length. That is, it is in 16 meters length. So from here till here it will be around 1 meter. So like this 16 times bigger the small intestine is. That is why it is completely in a coiled shape. That is, it is wrapped like a ball and it is in the middle. So in this small intestine, it's going to pass, the food is going to pass through this 16 meters of small intestine. Now here what happens? So this is the liver. This triangular part is called as liver. So the liver is also going to produce some juices, that is the watery substance. So that substance will enter into the small intestine. That substance will enter into the small intestine. So the food, whatever is there here, it mixes with the juices which are coming from the liver. So here what happens? The food gets digested completely. The food gets digested completely, and now here it will be in the form of liquid. It will be in the form of liquid. Liquid in the sense like how honey will be. Not, it is not a complete solid. It is not a complete liquid. Okay, in that form, like same like curd. If in a bottle, if you take curd and shake it very fast, how the curd will be? Now in the same form, whatever food we have eaten, it will be in that way. Now whenever it is passing through the 16 meters, okay, the food will be passing continuously through the 16 meters. So whenever it is going to pass, the walls, that is, this is the small intestine, these are called as the walls. So these walls have the blood vessels. The walls have the blood vessels. Now these blood vessels are going to absorb all the nutrients. That is the digested food. They are going to absorb the food. Whatever food is there, they are going to absorb it. And some more food is going to send to the large intestine. It's going to send to the large intestine. So this part is the large intestine. Okay. Now once if it is entered into the large intestine, now here also whatever extra useful material is there to the body, the large intestine is going to absorb. It is going to absorb. From here it passes like this. This way it is going to pass. So in that long procedure, the walls of the large intestine are going to absorb, and whatever waste material is there, that is sent out through the anus. Okay, from here the waste food material is sent out through the anus. Now in the same way, water which you drink, so whatever water you are drinking, in the same way it is going to come, and whatever waste material is there, it is sent out in the form of urine. Okay, so this is the process of digestion. Okay, this is the complete digestive system. In this digestive system, you have different organs. So the mouth is the starting point and the anus is the ending point. So mouth, stomach, liver, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, anus, all together they form the digestive system. So from here we are going to eat the food. Here saliva glands are present. Saliva glands produce saliva. With the help of saliva you are going to chew the food and then swallow. It enters into the stomach, and here because of the some digestive enzymes, the food is going to get digested little bit. Then it enters into the large small intestine. Then here it is going to pass through 16 meters length of small intestine. So here liver is going to produce some enzymes, that is the juices. So that juices help in the complete digestion of the food. So it is in the form of liquid here. Now it is going to pass through all the 16 meters of small intestine, and then it enters into the large intestine, and here large intestine is also going to absorb, and then it comes out from the anus. So this is about the digestive system. So let us read the paragraph and learn little bit more. So digestion of food, that is from page number 294. The process of breaking down of food into simple substance is called as digestion. So we are going to break the food into bits and bits and into simple sugars so that our body can get digested. Okay, it gets the digestion properly. So the food we eat doesn't provide us energy directly. So we need digestion process to gain energy. So whatever food we are eating directly, it's not going to give us energy. So there should be some process to it. Then only it's going to give us energy. So this complete digestion process, as it ends, they are going to produce us energy. When food changes into simple form, blood absorbs it. So this digestion digested food is then transported to all the parts of the body. So from here till here the food is getting digested into the liquid form. So here the blood, whatever is there, is going to absorb the food material. Whatever is required for the body, the blood is going to absorb. And whatever the blood is going to absorb, it will send to all the parts of the body. The process of digestion. The process of digestion starts from the mouth and ends at the anus. After putting the food in our mouth, we use our teeth to bite it. Teeth are also used to chew the food and break it into small pieces. When we chew, a liquid mixes with our food called as saliva. Saliva is secreted from the salivary glands. It changes the insoluble starch into soluble starch. That is, it's going to make the food into soft ball where it will be very easy to get digested. The food is then passed through the food pipe into the stomach. Stomach contains various digestive juices. These juices help in breaking the food into simple form. Stomach is attached with a long coiled tube called as small intestine. So stomach is attached with a long coiled tube and it is 16 meters. So it is completely mixed together and it will be in the form of a coil. And it is called as the small intestine. The food is then transferred to the small intestine. Inside walls of small intestine produce a juice which mixes with the food. Juices from liver and pancreas are also present in the small intestine. So the food present in small intestine gets completely digested with the help of these juices. The food present in the small intestine is almost in a liquid form. Blood vessels present in small intestine absorb the food and send it to the other parts of the body. The undigested food then transfers to the large intestine. It absorbs the extra water from the food and sends it the semi-solid waste to the anus. So this is the process of digestion. So here the food material is absorbed and then it goes to the large intestine. Here also the extra food material, whatever is required, it's going to absorb, water it's going to absorb, and the waste material is sent out through the anus. So hope you all have understood the process of digestive system. Then moving on to the checkpoints. Take a pencil and answer the following one. Okay. So first one, milk is an example of. So milk is example of protein. It is example of protein. It doesn't come under carbohydrates and fats, but milk comes under vitamins and minerals. It comes under proteins also. But here vitamins and minerals is not given, so we are writing proteins. Underline proteins. Vitamins are dash food. So what is the other name for vitamins? Protective food, energy giving food, body building food. So it is protective food. Underline protective food. They are going to protect us from different diseases. Fats, carbohydrates, roughage contain fiber which is not digested properly. So which is the food which it doesn't get digested properly? It is roughage. It is roughage. Then fourth one, saliva is secreted from salivary glands, then liver and small intestine. Saliva is secreted from the salivary glands. So these are the answers of checkpoints. First one is protein, second one is protective food, third one is roughage, and fourth one is salivary glands. Okay, then moving on to the next topic, that is preparation of the food. preparing food. So whatever food we are eating, there is some process for cooking the food. Directly we don't pluck the fruits or vegetables from the plant and we don't eat it directly. Few things we eat directly like fruits, then tamarind and this kacha mango and all. And few things we eat directly. We eat raw, that is without cooking. But for few vegetables and few food items, cooking is compulsory. So cooking is very compulsory for meat. Okay, whatever chicken or mutton or fish we are eating. Okay, cooking is compulsory. It is the mandatory thing. Mandatory is nothing but compulsory. You have to do it. So few things cooking is not compulsory. So let us see what are the different methods of preparation of food. What happens if we cook the food? What happens if we eat directly the food material? That is, what happens if we eat it raw? We eat both raw and both cooked food. So whatever food we are eating, we eat it cooked or else we eat it raw. Raw in the sense uncooked. That is, we are not going to cook the food. So fruits and some vegetables are eaten raw. We eat all the fruits raw. We do not cook. But for small children, their mothers, they cook the apple, they cook the banana and they are going to feed them. And some vegetables like carrot and onion, this also we eat it raw. Then keera also we eat raw and few things we eat it raw without cooking. So they should be washed properly before eating to remove the germs and dust. So whenever either we are cooking or whether we are eating it raw, we have to wash it properly. First thing is we have to wash the vegetables and we eat it raw or we eat it cooked. We eat both raw food and cooked food. So some food items need to be cooked before eating. Cooking makes food soft, healthy and easily digestible. So few food items we have to cook it compulsory, because whenever we cook some food items, it becomes more tastier and that is very healthy. Why we cook the food? To kill the germs in it, we cook the food. And cooking not only does it, even it is helpful for the easy digestion. For easy digestion, we cook the food. For the easy digestion, we cook the food. So rice and pulses are boiled, and whenever we take rice and pulses, they are boiled in water. Some vegetables such as potatoes, cauliflower and brinjal are roasted. That is, we fry them in the oil. Potatoes we boil and eat, and we roast it, we deep fry it. So in several ways we use it. And cauliflower and brinjal and remaining food vegetables, we are going to roast it in the oil. Cooking also kills the germs which can be present in raw food items. So, after washing the food items also, in raw vegetables and fruits, germs may be present. But by the time we cook the food, the germs are killed, and we should not overcook. That is, cooking it for a longer time. If we cook it for a longer time, whatever nutrients are present in that, they get exhausted. That is, they die. In a simple language, if you want to tell, they get die. Okay, they die if we overcook. Okay, they get exhausted. So whatever cooking is there, we have to do it in a limited time. Okay, do not overcook the food. So things to remember while cooking. What you have to remember while cooking? Let us see. Do not throw the water in which the pulses are soaked. They contain high amount of vitamins and can be used for cooking. So before cooking the rice and pulses, your mother soaks them in water for at least 1 hour. Okay, so whenever they are soaking, what happens? the nutrients which are present inside that rice and pulses, the water is going to absorb it. So here what you have to do, instead of throwing away that water, the same water you have to use it for cooking. So by this way you can preserve the nutrients in the water. Try not to overcook the food. It destroys the taste and nutrients of food items. So if you overcook the food, sometimes what happens? It will destroy all the nutrients. All the nutrients, they are killed, and sometimes the taste will also be little different. Wash the vegetables properly before cooking. So before cooking, wash your hands well and even the utensils well which you are cooking, and the vegetables also. So these three things you have to remember. First thing is, in whichever rice and pulses are soaked, that water you should not throw, and do not overcook the food, and wash all the vegetables properly. So these three things you have to remember. Then preserving the food. Preserving the food. So whatever food we are preparing, for one day it will be good. The next day it is going to get spoiled, isn't it? So how can we preserve the food for a longer period of time? Let us see this. Preserving the food. So food items need to be preserved to prevent from getting spoiled. If food items are kept in open for a long time, they may get spoiled. These type of food items are bad for our health. So once we cook the food, if we put it in open air, the food gets spoiled. So once the food gets spoiled, we cannot eat the food. So there are some preserving methods. Okay, there are some preserving methods. How can we make the food to stay fresh for a longer period of time without getting spoiled? That is called as preservation. Okay, now this preservation we have several types. Let us see that. So we can preserve our food in a number of ways. So deep frying, we can keep our food for a longer time by deep frying. So keep the food in freezer at low temperatures. Sorry, deep freezing. Keep the food in freezer at low temperatures to preserve it. For example, keeping fish and meat in a freezer. So whenever we want to keep a food item for a longer, like 3 to 4 days, we put it in the refrigerator in the deep freezer. Okay, the first one is deep freezing. Okay, so there the temperature is very low, where the bacteria cannot develop. The bacteria cannot develop, and the food item will be fresh for a longer period. Example is, you can keep a fish or meat. Then refrigerating. So whatever fruits and vegetables you bring to the market, that thing you are going to refrigerate it. That is, you are going to preserve it in a low temperature. Refrigerate helps to preserve food for a short duration of time. So this will do it for at least 4 to 5 days. But this normal refrigeration, so this is for a short period of time, at least 2 to 3 days. And this will live for at least 1 week. Okay, so deep freezing you can store it for at least 1 week, and normal refrigerating you can store it for 2 to 3 days. For example, cooked vegetables and fruits can be placed in a fridge. It is slightly different from deep freezing. So this is like normal cooling, and this is the deep cooling. Okay, you know the difference between the normal cooling and deep cooling. Yes. Then drying. So drying the food items in the sun. The next one is drying. Removing the water content of the food. For example, resins can be prepared by removing water content of the grapes. So resins are these like kismis you tell, right? So kismis are nothing but the grapes. So these grapes you can put it in the sun, and with the help of the sun's heat you can remove the excess water and you can change it into kismis, or we also call it as resins. So by this method also we can store the food for a longer time. The next one is boiling. So how we can preserve the food by boiling? So heat the liquid food content up to the boiling to kill the harmful microbes. For example, boil the milk before drinking. So before drinking the milk, we have to boil the milk and drink. So what happens by boiling? Whatever germs, bacteria or virus is present in the milk, they get destroyed. They are killed. Then the last one is canning and bottling. Last one is canning and bottling. Storing food items in cans and bottles. Example, cool drink cans and jam bottles. So here you can store the food item for a longer period by storing them in the cans. Like cool drinks will come in the bottles and cans, and even jams and butter also they come in the cans. So store the food item in that and completely pack it. Airtight packing metal, that is air should not get entered into the bottle. So such type of packing can also prevent from the spoilage of food. So that is called as canning. Storing the food in the cans is called as canning. So this is about the lesson. Now here you have the exercise bits. I am going to send you the notes. So all the bits I am going to send you. Then question answers also I am going to send you. Before that, once I am going to explain you, just note down. So fill in the blanks. Dash helps to remove waste material from our body. Roughages. The food we eat in our daily life is called as our diet. Our bones and teeth are made up of calcium. Storing food in cans is called as canning. C-A-N-N-I-N-G. Then match the following you have. Directly I am telling the answers. Proteins are milk. Then green leafy vegetables, roughage. Then vitamins, protective food. Then fourth one, removing water content of the food. It is called as drying. Here we have seen. Okay. Then last one is ghee. Ghee is a fat food item. Then you have short answers and long answers that I am going to tell you. And your homework is complete. Lesson 5, objective in textbook. Okay, lesson number 5, objective I am going to send you, that you have to finish it in the textbook. So that's all for today. We will